All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here today so we can introduce to you our next unit at Serial City Science, which is our MSLNG2 unit, our middle school life science second unit. My name is Victoria Ash, and I am the curriculum developer here at Serial City Science.
And my name is Sandy Irwin. I'm the Outreach and Professional Learning Director here at Serial City Science.
And my name is Tamika Wells, and I am the Outreach Specialist for Serial City Science.
Right, and we are so excited to be here for you to answer any of your questions and to make sure that you feel prepared when you purchase MSLNG2, exactly what you are getting. So let's go ahead and dive in. So an overview of the unit. This unit is going to be building on our past units that we've had for our fourth grade life science structure, function, and information processing. It will also be building on our middle school life science 1 unit, which we talk about stability and change in an ecosystem. So as students progress through our curriculum, it continues to build on itself, and we keep building that information for them. So an overview for this unit is this is for students to continue their exploration into structure, function, and information processing in living things through the exploration of cells, different types of cells, and human body systems. They will discover how different body systems have different functions. So students are going to be asking questions, planning and designing investigations, conducting research to obtain, evaluate, and relate that information, and then developing models to answer those questions. So let's dig in. We are a next generation science standard curriculum, and as such, we work on our 3 dimensions, really focusing to cover our science and engineering practices, as well as our cross-cutting concepts and those core ideas. So let's see what those standards are that we will cover, or those performance expectations that we're going to be covering in this unit. Before I continue though, when we talk about our science and engineering practices and our cross-cutting concepts and our disciplinary core ideas, we look at how those things work together and they intertwine to make the performance expectation in our NGSS. When we look at our science and engineering practices in this unit, the ones that are in blue are the ones that we cover in this unit. So we're looking at developing and using models, planning and carrying out investigations, engaging in argument from evidence, obtaining, evaluating, and communicating that information. Our cross-cutting concepts that we focus on in this unit are the cause and effect, scale, proportion, and quantity, system and system models, structure, and function. And then we are going to be looking at several strands, right? We look at a couple of different strands, focusing mostly on our life science, but making connections to those other pieces as well. Okay, so our performance expectations. Students are going to be working to construct an investigation to provide evidence that living things are made of cells, either one cell or many different numbers and types of cells. So students are going to be looking at animal cells versus plant cells, the differences that they can see under a microscope, as well as realizing that living things are made up of those cells. We are also going to be developing and using a model to describe the function of a cell as a whole and ways the parts of cells contribute to that function. So we're going to be learning about all of the different pieces that you find within a cell, all those organelles, and then how they work together to structure the cell and their functions within. We will be using arguments supported by evidence for how the body is a system of interacting subsystems composed of groups of cells. So we go from our cellular level to a body system when we look at the different organ systems or the different like nervous system, that sort of thing, and creating models to talk about how they interact. And then we are going to gather and synthesize information that sensory receptors respond to stimuli by sending messages to the brain for immediate behavior or storage as memories. And so we're going to be really honing into that one body system, our nervous system, and how that sends messages to your brain and how your body and brain react to that. Then we also have an engineering standard that we've put in this unit, and the engineering standard for this is to evaluate competing design solutions using a systematic process to determine how well they meet the criteria and constraints of the problem. So we're going to be looking at different technology that doctors use in their medical practice, and students are going to be deciding on which practice they feel is the best solution. Okay, so we start off with our big phenomena as we do in all of our units, and it really drives and guides our learning. And so our phenomena is started with this book here, The Broken Summer. In the book, The Broken Summer, our main character, Alex, falls during soccer practice and she breaks her femur. And so that starts all of our driving questions about how the body begins to heal itself and what different functions are related or different structures are related in that body healing. So we look at cells, we look at bones, and then we start looking at the bigger cell systems afterward. And so the Broken Summer is included in all of our kits, and there are 32 copies so that each of your students can have their own copy when you are in that discovery. Our body systems storyline breaks up into 6 different activities. And so our first activity, or each activity, really tries to answer one big question and helps drive the learning and drive our storyline. And so our first activity is when we introduce that phenomena and we start asking questions about how does the body repair itself. Students are able to look at x-ray cards, read our book, and start thinking about what they already know about the body healing themselves, as well as what they still want to learn about. So, activity 2, the big question is, could cells have something to do with healing? And that's when we pull out our microscopes, we pull out prepared slides, we start creating our own slides, and looking at the different cells and trying to notice the differences between plant and animal cells. And then in activity 3, we talk about how do specialized cells help bones repair? And we really start honing in on the specialized cells that we see in bones. And when bones are remodeling themselves and healing themselves, what are the different cells that take place there? And what are some of the interacting systems within that bone? Activity 4, we talk about how different systems work together to keep somebody healthy. And so we're looking at how the interaction of the bone body system interacts with like our muscles, interacts with our cardiovascular, and looking at how those different things respond to each other while your body is healing or even just through daily activity. Activity 5, we introduce this big question, are there other body systems and how do those body systems interact? In this activity, students are given the chance to begin researching a body system that they choose and creating a project around it, and trying to learn how other body systems interact outside of our big phenomena of the bone. The beautiful thing about this is that our kit does offer several research materials for your students to use while they are doing this project so that they have plenty of information to create their final product. And then activity 6, we are covering the big question, how does the body repair itself? And this is kind of an accumulation of everything we've learned so far. Students are going to present their projects and then also create that last model of everything that they've learned. When we talk about a phenomena-based storyline, we kind of go in a certain pattern that really puts students in the driver's seat of what we are doing and what they are learning, and we follow this flow. So at the beginning, we introduce the phenomena, and students are going to ask questions and state their ideas of what they already know about this phenomena and what they want to learn. From there, students are going to create their initial model. And in this unit, that initial model is going to be what the bone looks like before, during, and after it's been broken. Students are going to then develop some questions about what they want to know about this bone healing and the process of that break. And then they are going to explore the answers to those questions. And those explorations are hands-on, they're interactive, and they are students searching for answers themselves through their activities. We then move on to a science talk, and the science talk is a way for students to be able to interact with one another, to discuss what they found, to discuss what they've learned, and help each other understand the different activities that took place. That's going to lead next to the explanations, where we put together everything that we've learned to help explain the questions that the students have already asked. And then we're going to revise our model. So we've made the initial model of what we thought, and now that we've learned information, we're going to revise that model with that information. And then we go back to asking more questions or looking at other questions we haven't covered yet. We have several science and engineering practices in this unit, and you will see the activities throughout it um, incorporated as the unit progresses. So one of the big ones that we will be doing throughout the entire unit is developing and using models. When they are in their process of the storyline, they start with that initial model. And every time we learn more information about how the bone heals, students go back to add to that model. And so here you can see that there are two actual examples of what students might put down based on the information learned from our units or through the lessons. We will also be planning and carrying out investigations. And through that, students create procedures to answer questions that they have about their interacting systems, and then they carry out those investigations. So this is an example of what some of our journal pages look like for students to have that space to plan out an investigation themselves to answer some questions. Then we engage in argument from evidence, and students do this daily when they do their science talk. Their science talk is to discuss their ideas and their questions and explain their understanding of the concept with not just the teacher, but with their peers, so that we've built that learning community among them. Then obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information, students are going to engage in that research project about a body system of their choosing. And they research and create a presentation to share that information that they learned with the rest of their peers. Okay, so when we look at our unit as a whole, MSLNG2 includes hands-on activities that allow students to observe different cells and to make comparisons. And so, as I've stated before, they're going to be looking at prepared cells of plants and animals, and then they're also going to be creating their own cells of their cheek cells, as well as onions, peeling off different pieces so that they can create their own slides to look under a microscope. They are going to have a real world application and decision making for caring for a broken bone, where we take discharge papers from a doctor and we give them some scenarios of what they might do to help take care of their bone after they've gone home after the surgery. We have a research project as students discover other body systems. They do experiments to observe how other systems work together and how they interact with one another. They model and demonstrate how those systems work together. And then there is a teacher demonstration to help show the strength of bone structures, and students modeling observable and unobservable structures happening within the break. In our kit, we have so many wonderful things for you. We have little baggies of arm models, and the arm models are specific to one of our experiments where we can see how bones interact with muscles. We have prepared slides of many different cells, and there's even some added cells for you in there that you can do as an extension in your class. Things like when we talk about our circulatory system, we have blood smear cells for you to look at if you'd like to, and then muscle cells after you talk about the muscular system. Materials for students to create their own slides, anatomy books for research, and there really are so many in there. So definitely take a look at it as you prepare for that big project towards the end of your unit. We've provided you with so much research. We have many word sort card sets, including a bone remodeling card set where students look at the different stages of a bone healing and try and put those pieces together. We have materials for the teacher demonstration to show the strength of bone structures, and we have several materials for other experiments. I will go ahead and pass it over to Sandy. Sandy, will you tell us about our professional learning opportunities?
Okay, so we have a really exciting opportunity for you. Coming up October 11th and 18th, you can actually get trained in this unit for free. It's funded by our MySTEM Advisory Council grant. It does include sketches and a free teacher guide. That's right, we'll even send you a teacher guide. And that is at no expense to you. You do have to attend the 2-day session. And the stipends are available as well through a MySTEM region director, should you apply for that. Your due dates for application, the due date is actually September the 16th. That's coming up. So just make sure, actually what's today?
September 16th.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, the due date is, okay. And so if you're watching this and it's past the due date, no worries. Just go ahead and fill this out and we'll get you in. So you've got the website right there. The link is on the lower left of this page. Just go there or click on the QR code. Is this Tamika?
Yeah. Okay, before I get into specific pricing details for the unit, I definitely want to let you guys know that we are offering a wonderful deal on all middle school units. So if you don't have any of the life science units, if you don't have physical, if you don't have earth, it doesn't matter. You are eligible to receive 10% off all middle school materials. That's right. Kits, teacher guides, consumable packs, parts and pieces, student journals, all of them qualify for the 10% discount. And that's now through June 6th of 2025.
Okay, so let me get this right. So we are going to be giving teachers a free teacher guide if they attend the training, and we're offering 10% off a kit.
That is correct.
Okay.
All the kits.
All the kits, not
All
just
the
the
middle
one.
school kits. Yep.
That's
Not just the
great.
one. So for this unit specifically, the kit is $1,500. The teacher guide is 110. Actually, the kit is 1550. The teacher guide is 110. Student journals are $2.50 each. This specific life science unit does not include an organism card or a consumable pack.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And then just a little bit more information on how to purchase if you guys are interested. Um, I do have a link to the quick order, what we call our quick order form. And if you're interested, you just go to that link, fill out the order form, and then you would submit it to your business office to generate a purchase order. Once that has been completed, then I can process it for shipping. If you guys aren't quite ready to purchase the kit yet, we do offer 2 options at the moment for piloting, and I am more than happy to go into detail about what those options are and how I can work with your district if that is something that you're looking into doing. And then lastly, I'm always available to help put together any type of quote, answer any questions, ordering wise, purchasing wise. I have no problem helping you guys out should you have any questions about the ordering process. Thank you.
well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And if you have any more questions, please reach out. We're happy to fill you in on any information that you need. And we are so excited to be releasing our next middle school life science unit.